Hey all, Richard Fisk here, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to do a flight of the 1.4.0 new Fly app, and let's see what's new, let's see what's changed, and compare it with the Mini 2, the Mavic Air 2, and also the new Air 2S. So let's get on with the video, and hey, hold on a minute, let's find a nicer location. I'll see you in a minute. Hey, so this is a bit of a better location, so I'm sure you'll agree. Hopefully you can hear me. There is the sound of the Mediterranean waves crashing on the beach there, so don't be too jealous. But let's get into the video again and run through some of the differences and changes that's happened on the new Fly app 1.4.0. This will be a comparison for the Mini 2, the Mavic Air 2, and also the new Air 2S. So let's get on with it. Looking down here, hopefully you can see me okay. Hopefully you can hear me as well. I'll speak up a little bit. So the new controller now, also bear in mind, has a new update as well. So this will actually be able to control the Mini 2, the Mavic Air 2, and also the new Air 2S. So that's a really good thing that DJI have done. They've enabled you now to take one controller and it will be able to be used for all three drones. Now the Mini 2 and the Air 2 have two antennas for occusync. The antennas are in the front of the drones. With the Air 2S, they also have an extra two antennas at the back here, so the antennas there are four, whereas the Mini and the Air 2 have only two. So occusync 2 for the Mini Air and the Air 2, occusync 3 for the Air 2S. This is going to give a better signal, basically coming back to the transmitter and the phone. The video feed for the Mini 2 and the Air 2, that was only at 12 bit rate, and the Air 2S is actually at 44 bit rate, so they've upped that quite a lot. So the signal back to your tablet or your phone when you're flying the Air 2S is going to be a lot better. And also what that means in terms of range that you're going to get with these drones, the Mini 2 and the Air 2 have a range of 10 kilometers, that is 6.2 miles, and the Air 2 with the new occusync 3, that has a range of 12 kilometers, and that is 7.4 miles. So let's get this bad boy in the air and go through the interface and the Fly app and see what's changed. Let's take off. All right, I'm going to put it in tripod mode just to see and have a little fly around. A couple of things I wanted to try out first. Hopefully you can hear me, hopefully you can see me okay. I'll come a bit closer. Right, so one thing I wanted to test out first was the compass, just to see if that's okay. Let's just get this in position and show you where I am. The compass on the bottom left, touch that GPS. If I move this around, yeah, that's working okay. And the attitude sensors is okay, that's fine. Glasses are falling off. Right, one thing I had noticed on the Air 2S, some of the videos people have been putting out, was the height altitude indicator was incorrect. They were showing a minus number, which is a bit worrying. That's only going to be sorted out by firmware, so that's something to look out for if you've got the Air 2S. Going around from the bottom left, let's close that map, open the map, let's see where we are, and again, yeah, that's looking okay. It's pointing at the drone, so that's fine. Let's close that down, close that down. All right, now going clockwise, we've got the C mode indicator at the top, in-flight, etc. We'll go on to about safety. We've got obstacle avoidance on brake or off, so that's fine. We'll put that on brake. controls maximum altitude, no limit, and return to home at 34 meters. That's fine. Okay, let's have a little look. The battery indicator going around at the top, that's still the same. You've got the indicator until return to home, forced landing and depleted battery. Now the other thing I didn't know was you can actually tap on the signal and the sensors and also the satellite. You can get an indication there, which I've never done before. So let's have a little fly around here. Okay, that's weird. Now then, am I in FPV mode? Let's have a look. Control, oh right, okay, FPV mode. Right, I thought that was a bit weird. Okay, follow mode, so the camera will now stay nice and stable. Hopefully it's not too dark. I've got a 32 ND filter on here, just because it's a bright day out on the beach. Right, let's fly off in here. And one thing I wanted to do was one thing that the Mini 2 had that the Mavic Air 2 didn't. This is on the last update actually, on the 1.3.0. Now we have the 1.4.0 for all 3 drones. I wanted to check the return to home function, because on the Mini 2 you could actually hit the return to home button and then have control as it was flying back to you. So if we hit the return to home button now, that will come back. Oops. Okay, it's coming back. It's rising up at the moment and it will turn around. Now on the Mini 2 you could actually control the drone moving the left and well, right and left on the left hand joystick. On this again, no it's not. Okay, so you can't change that. It was a bit of a shame. That's a bit of a shame, because obviously it's a very nice feature. You can set a course lock almost like on the drone. Now the main thing, let's bring it down slightly and show you what we've got here. Now on the controls with the video and the feed for the camera, let's stop that a moment, stop the video in. Now on the controls on the right hand side you used to press the video, swap between the video and the photo, which you can still do. It's still on there, but the difference is now alongside that drop down menu list you used to have to be able to control or change the shutter speed and the ISO and things like that. So that's no longer there. So on above the record button or take a photograph button, the only option you now have is to press that and toggle between photo or video. You've also got the Quickshots there, etc. So the main difference there is you don't have the full control. They've actually been put elsewhere. So let's get out of this, go back onto video and photo. Right, stick with video. So down on the bottom right hand side now, you'll see along the bottom there where all the indicators are to do with your frame rate and your shutter speed and everything else, and also the iOS setting. They've also changed the setting here. If you click on Pro, which was the manual, click on that, it will change over to the auto. So they're the two differences there again, which is not in the drop down list. Well, sorry, they used to be there. They used to have auto exposure lock as well there, but now it's auto for automatic, and Pro is now your manual settings. Looking on auto, if you click on the indicators at the bottom, which is about another thing, is that they should move them up slightly, because with your big stubby fingers and with a phone mount, it's quite difficult sometimes to actually press the indicator. So, but anyway, you can switch between the storage, internal storage and external storage. You can also click on resolution and the frame rate. So again, you've got here a 1080p, which goes from 60 frames per second through to 24. 2.7, you've got 60 frames, 50, 48 down to 24 frames per second as before. The 4K, you've got 24, or 4K zoom, is that? I can't read. 24 frames and 25 frames up to 30 frames. And on the 4K, you've got 48 up to it goes off slightly. It's a bit fiddly. I actually preferred it the other way. It's on the middle of the screen. You weren't stabbing your finger or anything. But let's go carry on to this. 60 frames per second, turning up to 24, down to 24. It's a little bit fiddly. And to be honest, it might be, people say it's quicker, but you still had to tap the screen before, you still have to go into the menu. It is accessible down here, I suppose, but it's something you're going to get used to. So let's stick it back in 2.7, 60 frames per second. Okay, so flicking over now to Pro mode, which is the old manual. Here again, click on 2.760K, that brings up the interface. So it shows there again the gigabyte space I still have left on my card, or the internal storage. Obviously the Mini 2 doesn't have internal storage, and the Air 2S has 8 gigabytes of internal storage, just the same as the Mavic Air 2. Resolution and frame rate, click on that. Again, it will change everything, 24 frames, 25 frames, that's all, and 30 frames per second. Okay. Right, that's the video. Now you can still click on the screen. Let's change this back to 2.7 and 60 frames per second. Okay, you can still click on the screen and change the camera, which is good. Although it's something I don't use that often. I normally fly a drone manually. Zoom, you can still zoom in. What we got here, we're at 2.7, so you've got 2 times zoom. 4K, we've got zoom, 2 times zoom again, and let's go into 1080p, and we have 2, and it goes to 4. Right, all right, so let's try that again. Like, watch on the screen next to the record button, you've got 1 times zoom, tap, 2 times zoom, and then it goes 4 times zoom. So I guess to press and hold the function button and use the scroll wheel, we'll probably be able to get less than that. Yeah, like, so it goes from 3.2 to 3 to 4. Okay, now you can see me on the beach, I think. So when you're tapping on the screen, it will jump from 1 to 4. It'll miss out 3 for some reason. Whether that's just a little glitch or it'll be updated, I do not know. So that's another little change there. Let's switch over to photo. Now on photo mode, there is a new auto exposure lock. A bit fiddly again. I'll try and demonstrate it. You tap on the screen and you get that little circle come up with a sun next to it, and if you scroll up and down you can actually adjust the EV, and if you look on the screen at the bottom right you can see the EV being adjusted manually. Set that to 0.0. If you tap that brings up these 2 brackets, and if you tap that again and hold, that brings up the auto exposure lock. But there's no indicator on the actual phone or tablet or whatever you're using to show that it's actually been locked. So I guess, I don't know if it's locked now, so let's tap the screen. You have to hold this like, okay, it's locked. So if I rotate around now, rotate to the sun, that EV value is still at 0.0. If I do that again here, it's locked. Tap and hold. It's a bit fiddly. Let's do this. Hold on, no. Oh no, it's fiddly. Right, let's increase the shutter speed there. Sorry, the EV lock. Now press that again. It's locked. Now if I'm at plus 0.7. If I now rotate around again, that remains at plus 0.7. Okay, so that's the auto exposure lock. A little bit fiddly. One other way of doing the auto exposure lock is to go into settings on control. If you go to button customization, you have a space there where you can do the 1 tap, which is normally set for the LED light on the bottom to come on. If you tap that, you've got the drop down menu list, and obviously there you've got AE lock. So if you do use that function, if I now change the value on the slider, all the values here on basically for the ISO and the EV lock, etc. That's all on the slider now. So if I now change that down to dark, and then I press the function button once, that should lock it. And now if I rotate round, you can see that that EV lock is still now remaining at -1.7. So that's it might be the easy way of doing it if you set the function button to one tap auto lock. And if I now press that, that's unlocked, I believe, so I can now adjust the EV and put it back to 0. Right, okay, so that's I think the photos and the videos done. Let's have a look at some of the other features. Now on the Quickshot, the new Air 2S, have a look at my little notes here. This new Air 2S has Mastershots. Mastershots looks pretty cool actually. It is a feature that combines a lot of the shots that you normally find for Quickshots, the droney and the helix, etc. But what it does is it incorporates all of those into one. It even does I saw in a video the other day, does the what's it called? The Alfred Hitchcock, the dolly zoom effect. It even does that as well, which is pretty cool. Right, okay, so let's do a helix. Just make sure this all works. Okay, now it's got me. And go. I'm going to keep my eye on it because it might hit a tree, which I think it might do. And no, I'm going to go up. It's not very good. Right, but it was working anyway. So you can see there's some big trees there. I ain't going to go into them. Let's get rid of this. Right, video on slow-mo. All right, on the slow-mo on the Mavic Air 2 is actually slightly better than the the Air 2S. They're both filmed at 1080p, but the Mavic Air 2 has a 240 frame per second rate, and the Air 2S has only 120 frame per second rate. So the Mavic Air 2 actually is a bit better there. One thing I wanted to test out as well, I forgot to mention, is something that I believe the Mini Air has. In photo mode, you could zoom in by pinching the screen, maybe. No. Function button, zoom in and out. All right, so in photo mode for the Mavic Air 2, you don't have zoom function on the photo. I wonder if the Mavic Air, the Air 2 does, because that would be a nice feature when you're zooming in. You don't want to get too close to people. Right, let's hit record. Let's go and have a little fly, just to give you something else to look at. Not sure if this is looking a bit dark, I don't know, but we'll have a little fly over here just while I'm here at the beach. Nice Mediterranean view. Sorry if this is a bit long. No, I can't see the drone now. Where's it gone? Oh, there we are. Visual line of sight and all that. Let's go over these rocks, down a bit. Nice scenic flight. It's really nice on the coast here, it's beautiful. Really nice sunny day as well. 20 degrees. I wonder if there's any topless sunbathers. Hope not. Well, I'll have to edit them out, obviously. Okay, beautiful coastline here. I live down in southern Spain, as many of you will know, and it's just sunny all the time here, apart from when it rains. There's a seagull out there somewhere. Okay, so let's bring it back in here, turn the drone around. I was going to do a quick bit of active track. Active track is still working. Let's see, spotlight. Let's move it down here. Let's see if I can just do this for a second. Spotlight unavailable, recording high frame rate. Okay, that's interesting. It's similar to the Air 2S. That couldn't do it in 5K. Let's change stop recording 2.7. Let's do that in 1080. Okay. 21 minutes left remaining on my battery. All right, so it is working. Someone was using the Active Track for the first time. They'd obviously had a Mini 2, and I saw someone use an Active Track, which is, they were amazed by it. But obviously the Air 2 has had the Active Track for ages, so there's nothing new there. And if you want to see a video of Active Track in action and extreme Active Track, I actually took my drone through a forest and there's twigs and trees and everything everywhere. So, okay, let's confirm, turn to home. It'll come back now. So hopefully you've found this not too long, and I was waffling a lot, but it's just getting used to the new interface. It's not as easy as the other one, I don't think. It's a bit fiddly. It's all down the bottom here where the phone mount is, which I don't think is a very good design. I actually prefer it where it was on the screen. It's something new to get used to, something new to learn. And that auto lock, I don't like it. It's not something I use a lot because I'm not really a photographer. I normally use my drone for flying around. Here we go. So yeah, it's not something I'm liking. It's not something I get used to. But a lot of people seem to like it. So anyway, so hopefully you've enjoyed this. I will do a comparison also of a full comparison of the Mini to the Air 2 and the Air 2S. I'll do that next, and so look out for that in the next few days. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. And now I'm going to land my drone before it runs out of battery.